Okay, these are the classics. These are the Truman boots in Java Wax Flash. I've owned these for a while, and I like them a lot. I've worn them a lot. I haven't worn them a crazy amount to really bring them to their full potential. But Truman is in a, they're an amazing boot company. They're in a very interesting place right now. They're still kind of in this, I would almost say, uncomfortable space between the more expensive Pacific Northwest boots and the cheaper, I'm just going to say Midwest boots, but really the only company left there is, in that range is Red Wing, obviously. Chippewa used to be a great contender. Wolverine 1000 miles, just, I don't even like talking about them. They're a good enough boot, but they're just fine. Unless you get them on sale for $100, which is not rare, or $150, then it's a great deal. Okay. Hope I haven't pissed you off. If you have Wolverines, they're a lovely boot. Maybe I'll get them someday. I've had them. I've sold them. Okay. Truman. This is their flagship boot. This is the boot that made them. This is from an era a bit ago where I think some of the details would be different. I'm not sure if you get them today, if they'll have the hell is that? The pull tab. This for sure has the foam inside. Now they've got the cork. This has your classic Truman lug. This has changed a bit though. This was made in England. I never saw that. That's really interesting. Huh. Yeah. It's funny. This Goodyear welt goes pretty damn close to the edge, and I wonder, if that'll be a problem when I eventually have these resold. Probably not. Also, just send them back to Truman because they do their own resoling a lot, or they offer that service. I really like the very, very subtle arch support. And, of course, Java Wax Flash is just a stunning leather. It's almost so obviously stunning that people are bored of it because it's just so cool. And for a few years, it was just everyone was throwing it at their boots. But it's still that amazing. It's still that cool. You get these gorgeous red undertones when you start messing with the nap a little bit, and then you get the much lighter undertones when you really dig in. The stitching on this is great. This is a great boot. It is in an interesting spot where, by the way, the inside of Java Wax Flash is always pretty great. It's just a beautiful, soft, oiled leather. Truman's at a very interesting place right now. I love getting Truman boots. I'm kind of, if you arrived at Truman and you're like, I'm going to get 2 pairs of boots and I'm good to go, it's like, that is the best deal in the world. But with the way I wear these Trumans, at least, it's like, I think I bought these used on eBay. They were very, very lightly used. In fact, barely used at all. The leather still had that kind of very new shine that you'll get on a Wax Flash, which I actually really don't like. It makes them look kind of fancy, and you got to really wear these in to make them look more rugged. Again, my sympathies go out to Truman. They're just going through. I mean, Vince on Twitter is he's a wild, wild man. He once said, he's like, whatever side you're on, I'll piss you off, which I appreciate in a person. That's fun. I like someone who's an independent thinker and isn't beholden to, any tribal stuff. But that being said, he's a gnarly follow because he'll just be like, here's a cool boot, and then just say some crazy stuff, just about world politics or whatever. He is a controversial figure. He's polarizing. He has a very specific vision of what he wants for Truman boots that I actually don't think aligns with most of what Truman's customers want, which actually means his vision won't. He's almost like an Elon Musk character, which he'll have this crazy vision, but he'll do like half of it or a quarter of it. He said he was getting rid of Coach Rambler. That has yet to happen. So yeah, Truman Boots as a whole, a fun company to be into, an interesting company to be into. This has the, just a brown tongue. Sometimes they'll have the matching tongue. I think this is a great choice. It's softer. It's a lot softer than this. These, I truly had to break in. They're using a very, very thick version of Wax Flash, something that people forget all the time. By the way, I would love for these to just have a single backstay. That'd be really cool. Just have it do that. something people forget about, like Horween leather in particular, because it's they're so popular, and a lot of different companies at different levels, like Nick's boots will have Horween wax flesh, and Thursday boots will have Horween wax flesh. When Thursday boots gets a Horween wax flesh or a natural Chrome XL, that's going to be a very, very, very different selection of hide than say Nick's boots. They're just totally. They might as well be different leathers. They're similar. They're the same tannage, and so they'll have a similar top, but a very different feel. A boot that I deeply regret not covering is I had a pair of Quaddy Natural Chrome XL shoe, like kind of boots, camp boots. I ended up selling them. I just, I wasn't wearing them, and I wanted them to be worn. But that Chrome XL was just, it felt like you were just wearing, you were just wearing this leather. It was really, really cool. That being said, that was a great example of just Chrome XL at its best, and Truman is doing that as well. I mean, they're using just a very, very thick Java wax flesh. Thursday boots, on the other hand, God bless them. That's okay. It's a different price point, different target market. I don't think they would want the super thick wax flesh. They're going to get a much thinner leather. So all that to say, these were a pretty tough break-in, and and they're still not even fully broken in. Again, that's one of the great luxuries but also sad parts about having so many pairs of boots. Like, I will go months without wearing these, but still I've worn them quite a bit, as you can see. We're just getting started, which is nice. They still feel like new boots. I just love the Truman logo. I love sheepdogs. I love cow dogs. I love border collies. That says light. I don't think they're using this anymore. That just the Truman lug sole where it says Truman is just horrible. That's just horrible. I hate it. I really like their Eugene regrind soles, like a nitro cork sole. Anyway, that's there's not much new to say about these boots. They're an incredible boot. They're going to age beautifully. They're a great value. They're almost a little bit obvious, but I do think they're almost like they're just a must-have. They're a mainstay in any kind of boot nerd's boot collection. So, I've got them. I love them. I wear them. They almost do feel a little bit fancy to me. I know that's ridiculous because it's such a rugged boot, but they're just a little bit fancy. I don't know. I think I got to wear them in more or beat them up more or something. But anyway, I just wanted to bring attention to these boots. We all know them. We all have them. And again, my favorite thing about Truman is, one of them is they just use the best hardware. Their eyelets and speed hooks are just immaculate. They're not chewing up the tongue. They're molded. They're just really, really, really good quality. Man, these are just beautiful. They're just beautiful. Man, I mean, they're just, they're real, they're a great boot. They're a classic for a reason, and they truly are classics. They're, in a way, they're like the flagship of this movement towards, these mid-level direct-to-consumer boot companies that are making boots the right way, the old-fashioned way, the traditional way. They're also kind of one of the best, my focus is all messed up. Apologies. They're one of the best, kind of Goodyear welted boots. Let me get this stupid thing out of the way. It's grabbing onto the words. All right, okay, we got this. As far as Goodyear welted boots are concerned, they're really almost as good as it gets. You get into the Vibrigs or Nicks or Wikes, those are all stitched down. Which is, I mean, obviously you've got John Lofgren, those are Goodyear welted, and many other Goodyear welted boots at a very, very high level, a lot of the Indonesian makers. But as far as American-made boots, you've got your Oak Street, which I guess is really a very similar version, similar tier, similar level to Truman, but they're a little bit more controversial. Their lasts, for me, don't really work as well. I don't like them as much, but they are a very inspired and interesting company. I do own a few of their boots, but it's funny. I'll be like, yeah, they don't work for me. Then I own two of their boots. I own $600-800 worth of their product. So I'm like, I don't really love them. I do love them. They're very cool. But yeah, last thing I'll say, kind of to hammer that point home, who else is making Goodyear welted shoes kind of at this level? And I don't mean Roll Club is making Goodyear welted boots. Like I imagine Creosote also welts his boots. I don't know. Unsung in Nashville is making some incredible welted, Goodyear welted boots. But at this level, if you want an elevated, interesting, really super duper high quality boot that is Goodyear welded, Truman's really the way to go. Again, I don't think I'm forgetting anything. I probably am, but I just don't know what. But yeah, is there a $500 Goodyear welted boot equivalent? Again, Oak Street. I think that's it. If I really think about it, or the maybe the nicest stuff that Red Wing makes, but there's just a different level. So there you go. Yeah, I love Truman boots. These boots have so much red and burgundy and tans in them. They're just a beautiful boot. Decent storm welt. Again, you might get a flat welt on these. The small details are going to keep changing, but the overall 79 last Truman service boot is a classic, and it's a classic for a reason. All right, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful week.